So I went back through the 41 videos that I shot for you last year, and I was looking through the Living In series, like Living in Eagle, Living in Nampa, etc., etc. And I noticed that I haven't shot a Living in Kuna video for you. And, well, I owned a home in Kuna for 7 years. So let's talk about all things Kuna. What's up, everybody? This is Shawn Tomich with the Living in Boise group, and if this is your first time to the channel, then make sure that you subscribe now so that you don't miss a thing when it comes to moving to the Treasure Valley and the Boise market and all of these awesome updates and videos that I'm going to be making sure and sending you. Thank you so much to all of you that checked out my last week's video and for all of the likes and the extra subscribes that I got. And also thank you to those of you that were interested in my video with Charlie Brown and going backpacking in Garden Valley with him. Like I said, that was just a little extra video for you if you wanted to check that out. I know a lot of you that gravitate toward my channel are some more outdoor enthusiasts, and you're looking for, hey, Shawn, where's the trails? Where's this? Where's that? So I try to give you a little bit of that because, as you know, that's what I'm into and that's what I do when I have free time, whenever that is. But please let me know if there's anything else that you're wanting to see in the valley, in the woods, something outdoors, something that has to do with real estate, anything like that, anything that's Boise related that you're wanting to know about, just, reach out to me and leave a comment. I do check those comments. I usually respond if they're good comments. Leave a comment. Let me know what you'd like to see. I make sure and I get out there and try to get as much of this content for you as I possibly can. And there goes my camera. We're having technical difficulties for sure. And we're back. What I was trying to say was, if there's any questions you have about anything, just comment. Let me know. I will get out. I'll get that content for you. I'll do my best to get that content for you and answer those questions. But thank you so much to all of you that reached out last week and the week before. I actually had a lot of reach outs. I had a handful of Zoom calls last week from everyone that's realizing, hey, right now is the time to buy. And I've got buyers coming out of the woodworks now, people that have been waiting the last 6 months, 8 months. They were watching it go up and up and up, and we're just like, hey, I just don't want to get in right now. And now they're like, yeah, it's time to get in. So thank you so much for reaching out to me. If you've been following my channel and you know that Boise and the Treasure Valley is the place for you, then call me, email me, text me. Days, nights, weekends, myself, my team, we've got your back when it comes to moving to Boise and the Treasure Valley. So the numbers for last month are interesting, and they're exactly what they said they would be. Median home price in Ada County went from $565 to ending up in September at around $540, which was about a 4% decrease from month over month. But what's interesting is that that's actually still higher than it was at the same time last year. So like we all know, the market's been coming down. The inflation has just about been taken out of the numbers there. And we're starting to see a little bit of stabilization in a couple of the price points. In fact, one of my agents just last week missed out on a home in I'm going to check my cheat sheet because I wrote this down. She was in the mid threes. They were trying to get something in the mid threes and competing against multiple offers, and then they did not win. And then I just last week am working with my clients that are trying to get over here from Washington, and we were riding up in the high sixes, almost 700 range, and same thing. We lost out on one because we were competing against multiple offers. My client was trying to get it for undervalue. The other person's client ended up going at full ask or just over full ask, and my client wasn't wanting to do that. But, so like I said, so there are certain price points, and if a home is priced right, valued right, listed well, they're still moving. They just are. So yes, the market is still correcting, and absolutely there are going to be times when you own your home where you will be upside down in the value of your home. I have to pause there really quick, because I was actually contemplating this the other day because I couldn't understand why people were getting so freaked out and up in arms in the fact that they bought a home and their home is undervalued now. And it dawned on me. The market for the last 5 and 10 years, the real estate market, the buyer that's been in the market for the last 5 and 10 years, has experienced nothing but value increases every month, every year. So all they're used to, and all people have been used to for the last 5 and 10 years, is their investment going up and up and up and up and up, right? But the law of physics don't just apply to apples. Ow. They also apply to real estate and investments, and really any investment that you'll ever make, whether it be stocks, bonds, crypto, gold and silver, or real estate. That investment will fluctuate. That investment will go down. I can remember that when I invested in the home that I'm currently in, it was right actually before the big recession we had, the huge recession we had. And there was a time and period where my home was upside down in value about $150,000. That was a lot. And I could see that, that was kind of scary, because that was a couple years to dig out of that before you'd be able to sell your home or do anything. But again, real estate, as most people know, is a long-term investment. And, obviously that got back up to zero and then started getting into the positive. And I've got several $100,000 in equity right now, just like anybody else that's been a homeowner here for the last 10 plus years. So please understand that your investment will go down, just like all investments do, and the real estate investment that you make will go back up. Real estate has been proven over time to be the most sound investment that you can possibly make. So if you are a buyer right now, please make sure and take advantage of this buyer's market that we have right now, because one little shift, one little interest rate shift, or one little thing that happens that shifts the market will shift this market right back, at least in Boise, Idaho. Will shift the market right back to a seller's market, and we don't know how long that could last again. Like I said, we saw the last one last well over 5 years, and in a lot of markets, it was a seller's market for 10 plus years. So anyway, I digress. Now let's talk about Kuna. Now, like I said in my intro, I bought my first home in Kuna and lived in Kuna for about 7 years. Now that was about 25 years ago, when Kuna quickly became the fastest growing city in the state of Idaho. In fact, when I moved out to Kuna at the ripe age of 19, I remember there was only a 2-lane highway from Meridian all the way out to Kuna, and it seemed like forever to get out there because there was nothing in between. But, 25 years later, it's completely built out in between. Meridian and Kuna pretty much connect as it is now, with neighborhoods and businesses, and you can go to Dutch Bros and get car parts on your way out there. And like I said, there's a gas station, a nursery, so you can get plants. I'm just trying to think of all of the other things that are out there. But like I said, it's just completely connected now with a 4-lane, 5-lane, basically, highway that goes all the way out to Kuna now. Now, when you got to Kuna, there was a very old D9 grocery store for grocery shopping. There was about 4 bars in town and a gas station. There wasn't even any kind of a road light or signal light or anything, and I think there was like 1 stop sign. There weren't even police for Kuna. In fact, when you lived out in Kuna back in the day, if something happened or if you needed the police, you had to call the police, and you'd have to wait for them to dispatch someone from Meridian. So basically, if you were in an emergency situation, it was going to be about 20 minutes, 15 minutes if somebody was available to help you. So things have changed. Kuna's grown up in 25 years. When I first moved out there was about 3,600 residents. And the last I checked, Kuna now has about 26,000 residents. So it has grown up in the past 25 years. Now, I will tell you right now that I absolutely love Kuna. Kuna was built over this quiet little farming town, and it still retains that quiet farming town charm and feel, and the residents, the culture, it still maintains that feel. And that's what a lot of the people that move out to Kuna are looking for, and that's what they find, and that's what they love. Now, of course, 25 years ago, Kuna used to be a very affordable place to live, an affordable place to buy a home, and it was for years and years and years. It really was. Like it was very rural. It was kind of like out in the country, and so if you wanted to move out to Kuna, obviously you paid less for real estate out there. But I bought my very first brand new home out in Kuna. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,100 square foot home. And back then I paid $82,000 for it. Now for the last couple of years, Kuna's been one of those rural areas of ours that's actually been really tough to get a home in. And the biggest reason is because of low inventory and very tough competition to get something over there. I had very big troubles getting my last two clients in Kuna. It took us a couple tries before we were able to actually get that home for them. Now today we know that that's changed a little. Now right now when I do a search on the MLS, Kuna has 238 active listings with a median price of around $480,000. Of those 238 active listings, currently 71 of those listings are resale homes. And I also noticed that 19 of those listings have reduced price recently. Now, out of those 238 listings, there were a lot more. 156 of those were new construction, and the median on that is actually about 478. And I noticed that in that group, 53 of those listings have actually just dropped price. So what is this telling us? Because the numbers tell us things. Now, what I will first tell you is that historically speaking in our area, new construction is generally, depending on where you're at, Ada County versus Canyon County. Ada County, new construction is usually about $100,000 more than resale. Canyon County is usually about $50,000 more than resale. In Kuna right now, you'll notice that that has flopped, and resale is actually around $500,000. And all of the new construction, the median's at about that 478 range, with a lot more listings, double the listings. Yep, just over double the listings. So you can see that builders, they can't continue to sit and just make their mortgage payment and just wait for the right buyer to come along like someone that's selling their home can. And if they don't want to drop price, they don't really have to. They can kind of drop if they want, unless, you know, they're in a position where they've got a job somewhere and they have to leave. But you'll notice there are, again, less resale homes on the market, so they're not having to drop their price as much. Astronomically more new construction, and they are dropping their prices and having to be more competitive to get their homes off of their books because they can't sit. They actually can't just sit and keep writing mortgage payments every single month on new construction loans. So right now, honestly, if you're interested in Kuna, it is a really good time to find a good deal on a property in Kuna. So why do I love Kuna? Honestly, there's a lot of reasons I love Kuna. So I'm going to start trying to list them for you now. One of those reasons is they have this gorgeous green belt that runs along Indian Creek Canal, and Indian Creek runs all through Kuna. And so they've got this lovely green belt that runs along Indian Creek. And so just like people that live in downtown Boise have the advantage of the Boise green belt along the river, you still get a little bit of that right in Kuna. And it's nice to you'll see people all the time in the morning running along that green belt, walking their dogs. It runs right along the park in the middle of the city. So now the Swan Falls area and Snake River area are also right in Kuna's backyard. So in 10 to 15 minutes from Kuna, you can be right at Swan Falls Dam, literally sitting at the park and having a beautiful picnic in their little picnic area. Or you could be on the Snake River boating. You can get your Alumaweld boat, your flat-bottomed river boat, out anywhere on Snake River and do a ton of fishing up and down there. Or you could be camping out next to Snake River, or you could be trail running, which is a lot of what I do. I'll go out there and I'll either take my mountain bike and I'll run the trails out there next to Snake River, or I'll just go for a nice hike. I've actually backpacked out there and stayed the night out there. It's really cool. Just before you get to the Swan Falls area, you're gonna pass the Kuna Birds of Prey area. This is an area that I can tell you I have been to countless times. And still as a Nampa resident, I still go over to the Kuna Birds of Prey area all the time. It's one of the areas that I love to go off-roading in. It's kind of a deserty area with a lot of hills and up and down, and if it's rained, you get a lot of good mud in there. And so I do a lot of off-roading in there, and there's just trail systems for miles and miles and miles out in the Kuna Desert that just go and go and go, and you can just get lost out there for hours. But keep your GPS, you'll need that. But I absolutely love that and been out there several times. I've taken my daughters off-roading out there. I've gone out, there's tons of areas out in the Kuna Desert that you can go out shooting. You don't have to pay, you just go out and, you know, find a backstop, you know, where there's a mountain and you're not gonna kill anybody. And you set up your targets and you can just go shooting wherever you want. It's just really cool out there. Now, one of my best memories of living in Kuna is actually Kuna Days. Kuna Days is really cool. Again, Kuna has this small town, hometown vibe, and Kuna Days is one of the ways that they retain that vibe. So it's usually like the first weekend in August, Friday and Saturday. So it's a 2-day event that includes a huge vendor section set up in the park, a huge carnival set up in the park, as well as a food court so that you can get all the tastes of Idaho, an ice cream potato. I'm not even gonna explain to you what that is right now. What else? And of course, a beer garden. I mean, you can't have a fist fight or two without beer being involved, right? I'm kidding. Now, on the first night, which is, like I said, usually Friday night, they'll usually end the celebration with family movie night at the baseball park. And so you'll get to go out there and park, and they'll have a big, huge screen set up, and you have family movie night to end the celebration on Friday night. And then Saturday morning, they kick off the celebration with a nice, cool parade for the kids. The kids absolutely love that. You know, the fire truck is out there spraying everybody down with water because it's in the middle of August, and everyone's throwing candy and just having an amazing Pacific Northwest time where you don't have to worry about getting shot or ran over, because that kind of stuff doesn't go on here typically. And then Saturday night is really cool. They usually close down the entire main street. No one can drive on Main Street. They usually have a big, huge band giving a live performance and a big street dance. So it's literally Saturday night is street dance night in Kuna Days, and it is a blast. It's just awesome memories, really cool area, and a very cool city to live in. Now, another really big highlight of Kuna are the corn mazes and pumpkin patches. Now, if you've grown up anywhere where they grow a lot of corn and or actually, let me rephrase that. If you haven't grown up anywhere where they grow a lot of corn and a lot of pumpkins and things like that, then this will seem very, very foreign to you. But pumpkin patches and corn mazes is a huge thing out here. It's a huge business. And when you show up to one of these events, you'll realize it. Organized parking, you get inside, and there's just food galore, hot donuts, hot cocoa, hot cider, cold cider, ice cream cider, huckleberry this, huckleberry that. We grow huckleberries in Idaho. And it's just, you know, corn everywhere. There was at one of them, there was a big, huge pit where you could get inside a big, huge pit of corn, the dried corn kernels. It was kind of like sand. It was really neat. There's a pumpkin launcher, candy launcher, of course, the corn maze. I remember one year you could actually sign up and pay to shoot zombies with paintballs that were running around in the corn maze. I mean, I'm telling you, this is a big deal in the Pacific Northwest, and when you show up to one of these events, it's awesome. It's so family oriented. You can feel free to literally let your kids run around and be free and play and feel safe. And it's just, honestly, you feel really cool about it when you're there. It's a really awesome event to be able to go to the corn maze and be able to go to the pumpkin patches. And like I said, if you live in Kuna, they're literally right there in your backyard. I mean, fall is just honestly an absolutely awesome time of year around here. And if you ask anybody that's grown up around Boise, or that has grown up in Boise, or just lived here for the last couple of years, more than likely they're going to tell you that fall is really one of their favorite seasons. Watching the leaves turn color, and all near the river and downtown Boise, and when you head out of town and you head toward McCall, and watching all of those leaves change color. I mean, it's just the scenic backdrop of Boise is one that you can't beat in fall. And you get to dress up in all your comfy fall Ugg boots and yoga pants and scarves and hats, and you get to wear your favorite football team apparel. It's just an awesome time of year here in Boise, and it's a great place to be. Another really huge thing in the fall is BSU football and Boise State football, following the Boise State Broncos. Growing up here my entire life, I've watched the Broncos. Before they had the blue turf, I watched them play on green turf. Before that, my dad played for them in college when they played on actual grass. I never missed a home game when I was a kid. I painted my face blue and orange. So when you grow up here, Boise State football is a really big deal. So getting to go down and tailgate and have drinks and appetizers and food down at the campus with all of your friends and family and everyone in the city is a blast. And everyone at the tailgates are very welcoming. I'm not telling you to walk up to anybody's tailgate and grab a chicken wing or anything like that, but you'd be surprised at how many people will invite you to their tailgate or offer you a drink or give you a high five when BSU scores a touchdown. It's that really cool environment that exists down there, and it's a lot of fun around here in the fall time, if you haven't gotten that from what I've been telling you. But anyway, I digress. I could literally go on about Kuna for probably a good couple hours and tell you stories about growing up there and stupid things that I did there when I was 19 years old, owning my first home, stupid things. Anyway, but like I said, I digress. Kuna's awesome, Boise's awesome, you already know that. If you've been following my channel and you've already fallen in love with Boise, you know this is the place for you. Then all you've got to do is just call me, email me, text me. Days, nights, weekends, myself, my team, we've got your back when it comes to moving to Boise and the Treasure Valley. We'll see you next time.